Hello friends, I am Sayukta Saxena back again. I am a certified Zentangle teacher and today we will be learning a pattern called Paradox. It is another Zentangle original, a pattern given by Rick Roberts. A very versatile pattern, a standalone pattern, doesn't need any supporting patterns. At least that's what I think, because generally it is handful. When you draw it on a tile, you don't really require anything else to support the pattern. But yes, it is also a meta pattern because it in itself can be arranged in so many ways that it is capable of creating various meta patterns. So let us first try to understand how do we draw the basic pattern Paradox. It is a purely line based pattern and doesn't really need much more than the capability to just draw straight lines, right? So Paradox, I'm drawing here a square, small square, and I'm going to take one side as a base and start drawing lines like these, right? So touching the base and then creating a gap, and then again do the same exercise here like this. If you do it on a small tile, it will be easier for you to rotate the tile. I'm doing on my scrapbook, so I'm going to show you without rotating. Again the same exercise, right? So I'm retracing a part of the line from the beginning and then deviating and creating a small gap, right? Again the same exercise. Again retracing a part of this line and then creating a small gap, right? So Paradox is pure line work. I'm going to be doing this exercise till the time the entire space is filled up, right? So starting any side, taking any side as the base and then retracing a part of the line initially and then deviating, creating a gap. Somewhat Betwidish, right? So we keep doing this exercise till we finish up the entire space. That's the basic of the pattern Paradox. Now we'll see that when we are doing this exercise, we are forming a kind of a pattern inside, a fan kind of shape, right? Yeah. So you can see this fan kind of shape formed due to the way we have auraed the lines, right? This fan kind of shape helps us create many meta patterns, right? So I'm going to show you some examples. So this is the one that I have drawn, right? So if you can see clearly, this is the one that I drew. This is the one. This is where I moved clockwise, right? Like this. If I reverse the direction and move anti-clockwise, then the fan also reverses, right? So you have the fans like these. So what happens when you join these two squares? If you draw both of them clockwise, this is the meta pattern that is formed by the two fans, right? I hope you are understanding. These are both drawn clockwise, that is this way, but these are two squares joined together. And this is both anti-clockwise. You can see the difference in the patterns, right? So same exercise when done from this direction and two squares joined together, this is the pattern that is formed, right? So why I was saying that it itself is a handful and is capable of creating many meta patterns when drawn in different ways. This is the reason. This is again one clockwise and one anti-clockwise, right? So here this is the anti-clockwise and this is the clockwise, and when they are put together you can see what kind of a meta pattern is formed. So it is simple Paradox, just that when you start combining it, squares together, triangles together, different types of shapes together, it itself creates different kind of patterns. Just to show you an example, these are 4 squares together. So you can see clockwise, anti-clockwise, again anti-clockwise, clockwise. What is the meta pattern that is formed? The same system of oraying simple lines, but just the fan shape being rearranged in different ways by changing the settings, right? Again 4 squares, anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise and clockwise. You can see how the fan has reversed, right? So this is the fun with paradox. 4 squares put together, you change the direction in which you draw these lines, and this is the pattern and meta patterns that you can create, right? Now let me show you how do we draw another example in a triangle. So a simple triangle, and then I'm going to be repeating the same exercise, right? So let me start clockwise, which means I'm going to move like this, right? Then again coming down like this, retracing a part of the line from the beginning and then creating a gap, right? Again coming down like this, again like this, like this, like this, and repeating the same exercise until the inner space is all filled up. So here also you can see that fan shape, right? So again, just to show you, this is the fan shape, this is clockwise movement. When you draw it anti-clockwise, that is you move this way, right? This is the fan shape that you get. Now what happens when you combine these two, right? So these are the meta patterns that you find, that you get 2 clockwise, 2 anti-clockwise, and 1 clockwise and 1 anti-clockwise. And remember, these are all triangles, right? These are 2 triangles, these are again 2 triangles, and these are 2 squares split into triangles, right? So if you have a square, if you have 2 squares, you either have the option to draw paradox inside the square, or you can split it into triangles this way, or you can split it other way, right? Depending on how you want. Like this, right? And draw paradox in each, and in each you have the option of drawing clockwise or anti-clockwise, so accordingly the look of the pattern changes, right? This is paradox in a circle, right? So how do we draw that? I've divided the circle into 4, right? So this is a circle with 4 divisions, and then I have drawn paradox. Just to show you a small example, for example, this is the circle, right? So you can divide it into 4, and then in each section you can follow the sequence. It's okay if you have a curved line on one side, you have to follow the same sequence, right? Just give a slight curve to your line on that side and then continue the same process, right? So what I have done is divide the circle into squares or triangles and then do the same exercise inside it. Now if you want to continue this fan, then you have to start like this, right? So once you practice this pattern, you will automatically understand that in which direction the next line has to start, right? If you want to continue this fan, then you have to naturally draw anti-clockwise. If you don't want to, then you will start the other way, right? Again, if you want to continue this fan, then you have to start like this, right? So paradox can be drawn in any shape. It is very convenient if you divide it into triangles and squares, then it is easier for you to understand how to start and where to start. But otherwise also, as you can see here, one side is a curved line. I am still able to draw my paradox, right? So this is the paradox in a circle, and this is how you can manipulate the look, a meta pattern, just by manipulating how you move, clockwise or anti-clockwise. So you get two different versions of paradox in a circle just by changing the direction, right? So this is a hexagon, and you can see how paradox has been accommodated, right? So how do we generally draw it in different shapes? For example, we would preferably divide it into sections like triangles, right? So if this is the center, I would preferably divide it into triangles and then start drawing paradox in each of my sections. But then that is not a hard and fast rule. You can also do it some other way, right? So depending on what shape you have, for example, it is a pentagon, right? Again, you will have triangles inside, and you can draw paradox inside each. Just to show you an example, this is a different kind of a shape, squares and triangles together. So here paradox has been drawn in triangles, and then you have option to draw paradox in squares, or you can divide those squares into further triangles and you can draw paradox inside each triangle. And in each triangle you have the option to go clockwise, anti-clockwise, and accordingly you create beautiful meta patterns, right? So this is the fun part of paradox. Much have been done in regard to this, but we don't generally see many arrangement of paradox. So I'm going to be doing paradox in different arrangements. I have drawn some tiles which I'll be posting soon on my Facebook page. You can see here it's a simple tile with different patterns and paradox arranged in a different way, right? So there are overlaps and paradox has been arranged like this. Again, this is a tile, paradox in the center, a slight curve on one side of the line and other patterns to support. Again, this is paradox, and then inside again I did paradox but divided it into some sections or triangles, due to which I got this look, and in between is ravel, right? So you can play around with paradox in different ways. One option is to play around with the shape, clockwise, anti-clockwise. This kind of meta patterns you can form. And the other option is like this, try different arrangements of paradox. For example, these are small pieces of paradox lying in the center and some organic patterns to support. So this is a black tile, right? So in which we have used paradox in the center, and I have not completely filled up the center. I have drawn some other pattern inside, and these are both fragments on the four sides, but the basic pattern is paradox, right? So this is paradox on a black tile with a slight variation. And this one also I posted on my Facebook page. Again, used a fragment inside the square and then drew paradox inside and some embellishment with these horn-like shapes. Very comfortable to make. In case of a black tile, you can just ink the white portion and you get it, right? And mochas to support. So you can draw paradox in all these different ways. So in our next session, we will be drawing a couple of tiles, probably one or two, using the pattern paradox. So we'll meet again in part 2. Bye-bye.